let's get started today in our herbal infusion. Little guy was spared. Lucky you, friend. Would have been straight into the boiling water. So we're gonna let this infuse for at least 4 hours. I have read contradicting information though. There are some herbalists that believe that most of the medicine that is within the nettle plant will be extracted within 10 to 20 minutes, depending on how hot your water is. Now, I got this water to boiling. I typically like to let it rest for a little bit before I pour it over my nettle. I like to do this the night before, so that way I have it in the morning. And I will put it into my big thermos cup that I will drink pretty much all day long. But as you saw, I have the rose and the holy basil. Now these are the herbs that I like to consume on a daily basis with the nettle. Nettle is a very nutritiously dense plant. It is high in a lot of different minerals as well. And I had mentioned earlier about how I have found a lot of improvement in my health drinking nettle on an almost daily basis. I used to get really bad leg cramps. I don't really have that many issues with it anymore. And it's also really beneficial if you're drinking it regularly. It does help with later on when you do begin to start your bleed for your period. It does help menstrual cramps a lot. And there are other things that I have done in my health that have helped improve that as well, and I won't get into that really on here today. And then rose I include because rose is known to be helpful in any point in the feminine menstrual cycle because it has really great toning properties for your uterus, which is also another benefit to helping lessen cramping. Because if you think about your uterus is a muscle, and whether you're bleeding and having cramps there's a contraction. Whether you're going into labor and having a baby, there's contractions there too. That is a muscle that needs to be worked and toned. And I have heard of other herbs that do the same, that also help tonify the uterine muscles. But I like to use rose, and it goes really well in the nettle infusion. And then I also use holy basil. I like holy basil for different personal reasons. Holy basil is very precious to me. It has very calming effects on your physiology. And I don't really suffer issues of anxiety, thoughts racing, but I do notice an overall sense of calm in my system whenever I drink Tulsi on a daily basis. So it is definitely something that I like to have in my infusion as an additive, not only because it has those effects, but it makes nettle that much more palatable, where it has that balance. Because if we compare nettle to having, I won't want to say it tastes earthy, but if we say that nettle has that earthy flavor because it is so rich and minerally dense, Tulsi has these top notes in flavor where it just kind of lifts it up a little bit. It brings you out of that earthy flavor and just helps balance the infusion a lot better. And all of the infusion recipes that I saw that people had already done on YouTube, no one mixed it with anything else, which is why I wanted to offer this video, because I do this infusion and it's much more palatable the way that I do it, at least the way that I've found. I've never seen any other recipes of anybody but using any other herbs to give it a little bit better of a flavor. Now, holy basil, I used fresh today, as you saw, but I also have dried holy basil that I keep in my pantry, and you could use either or. I'm using fresh today though, because we have it in such bounty here, the early fall, because it's still sort of warm here, but it will be gone when we get the first frost. So I'm gonna continue to use her as I can. Another thing, a lot of my herbs that I get, whether they are coming from the garden or I'm ordering them online, I want them to be organic. That is really important to me, because if I'm consuming anything to benefit me in my health, I also want to make sure that it's clean and non-toxic, or as non-toxic as I can get it. One place that I do like to order my herbs that I get online is Mountain Rose Herbs. If you are utilizing fresh rose petals, you want to make sure that they, first of all, haven't been sprayed, but also are potent and fragrant, because that is a very clear indicator of their medicinal properties. But I hope that y'all really enjoyed this video. I hope that this wasn't a waste of time. I've been kind of on the fence about wanting to put this video out because I didn't know if anyone would really care that much. But please comment down below and let me know what you think, and I'd be more than happy to put out more videos like this. It's so beautiful out here this time of year with fall, so I'm gonna get outside and enjoy the rest of this beautiful fall day. Y'all have a wonderful evening, and thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
And we set our friend free back on the plants in which we found him. Hopefully he's happy.